Hi, this is Pedro. Welcome to the first episode of this book club. Here I will introduce Japanese novels and focus on their language aspects. I will recommend the book, share an interesting passage and dissect it to help with your Japanese reading skills. Let's get started! 背中を思い切り蹴られ、ベッドから降りると後頭部に枕が飛んできた。良幸の枕を投げつけた明里はベッドの真ん中に陣取り、布団をからだに巻きつけている。ふて寝のアピールか。枕だからよかったものの、後頭部に触れてみる。あの人は何で殴ったのだろう。殴らなければならないほどの何が起こったのだろう。Don't worry, I know that's a lot to take. I'm not going to explain everything I've just read, only the final part, but this passage that I have just read is from this book called夜行観覧車, published in 2010 by Minato Kanai, which is also the author, by the way, of the psychological thriller Kokuhaku Confessions in English, which has been made into a movie. And I haven't read the book, I have only watched the movie and it's really good. This book, by the way,夜行観覧車, in English, Ferris Wheel at Night, has also been adapted into a TV drama in 2013. The plot revolves around a murder that happened in a high-class neighborhood called hiragana, and it focuses on the point of view of three families living in this neighborhood and how this murder affected them and the way that they behave and think. So the first family is the Endo family, formed by the mother, Endo Mayumi, the father, Endo Keisuke, and their daughter, Endo Ayaka. They moved to Hibarigaoka despite not being rich, which was the dream of the mother, Ayumi, but that puts a lot of stress in their daughter, Ayaka, and because of that she throws the craziest tantrums around the house, like screaming, breaking things and all of that. In Japanese that's called kanshaku, and I think I'll never forget this word because of how vividly it was brought to life in this novel. Then there is the Kojima family, but the focus is always in one person, an elderly woman called Kojima Satoko. She has been living in the neighborhood for a long time and she feels like she's a protector of it. So she likes to meddle in people's lives. Then there is the Takahashi family, which is formed by the father, Takahashi Hiroyuki, which is a doctor, the mother, which is Takahashi Junko, which is much younger than Hiroyuki, and their son and daughter, their son Shinji and their daughter Hinako. This is the family where the murder happens. More specifically, Hiroyuki, the father, is murdered with a blunt object at the back of his head. And the main suspect of the crime is Junko, the mother. And as the story progresses, we see how each person in the neighborhood was affected by what happened. The reason why the book is called Ferris Wheel at Night was not very clear to me. There is a hint of a Ferris wheel being built near the neighborhood that will allow a complete view of it and the surrounding areas as well. But it's not only that. To me it suggests the different sides that everyone has. Pretty much like how the Ferris wheel cabins change position. Because this book really focuses on the personality of each character, and as the story progresses, even though you had an opinion of this character, then they show a different side of them, and you might change your opinion. Also, most critical scenes of the book, including the murder of Takahashi Hiroyuki, happen at night, and therefore Ferris wheel at night. The passage of the book that I want to dissect is this one. あの人は何で殴ったのだろう。殴らなければならないほどの何が起こったのだろう。If you don't quite remember the whole thing, just go back to the passage point. You can use the chapters in the description for that. Anyway, this passage of the book refers to the pondering of Takahashi Yoshiyuki regarding the murder of his father. So Takahashi Yoshiyuki is the first son of Takahashi Hiroyuki, and he is a medical student and lives with his girlfriend. His girlfriend is only interested in him because of the prospect of marrying a future doctor, and she's really upset when she finds out about the murder because she doesn't want to be involved in a criminal case. And at one point she throws a pillow at the back of Yoshiyuki's head, and because his father was killed with a blunt object at the back of his head, he starts to ponder about the motives of why his stepmother, Junko, could have done that. What on earth could have happened that she had no choice but to hit Hiroyuki? I chose this passage because it features Japanese very unique way of expressing how something must be done, coupled with another word that is used to indicate the level of something. If you don't understand anything, don't worry, I will explain it bit by bit from now. Okay, the first sentence, あの人はなんで殴ったのだろう? Let's go very quick with this one. あの, that, あの人, person. That person. In this case, the stepmother, Junko. なんで, why? あの人はなんで殴った. Nagutta comes from naguru. Naguru means to hit, and nagutta is the past tense of naguru. And then comes no daro. No daro is usually used when you want to ponder about something, like I wonder why the sky is blue. Why is the sky blue, no daro? If you mix English and Japanese. Therefore, a possible translation for あの人はなんで殴ったのだろう could be I wonder why she hit him, or why would she hit him? The she and the he and the him here are implicit, okay? Now for the main sentence that I want to introduce you today. 殴らなければならないほどの何が起こったのだろう. Bear with me now, there are a lot of conjugations that we have to cover here. This 殴らなければ comes from 殴る, the hit that we just talked about. And the negative form of hit is 殴らない. It is here in this sentence in 殴らな. However, this negative form is further conjugated, and in the negative form is usually further conjugated from the i. So the 殴らない becomes 殴らなければ. Kereba express condition, in this case similar to if. And therefore a literal translation for 殴らなければ could be if not hit. And now here comes the magic with Japanese. 殴らなければならない. This ならない is the negative form of the verb なる, which means to become. So a really literal translation of 殴らなければならない would be if not hit, will not become. But this ならない is used to indicate that something is forbidden, that something just will not do. So if we shift translations a little bit, we could say 殴らなければならない means something like if not hit, it will not do. In Japanese, that's basically how you express the idea that something must be done. You use this conditional with the negative and then something like ならない. Therefore, 殴らなければならない means must hit. And now here comes the word to indicate the level of something in Japanese. Hodo. Hodo is similar to the point of. For example, if I want to say that I am tired to the point that I can sleep for 2 days. In Japanese, it will be like, I can sleep for 2 days ほど I'm tired. Right? So, 殴らなければならないほど, so to the point that must hit. Now, there's the next part. の何が起こったのだろう. I'll be skipping the no here, known as the possessive particle, because I think it is really not necessary to be able to understand it. Anyway, 何が means what. 起こった comes from 起こる. 起こる is to happen. 起こった is the past tense, something that happened in the past. のだろう we already covered, it's like pondering. 何が起こったのだろう I wonder what happened. What could have happened? This kind of nuance. Now, if we unite this sentence together, we get must hit to the point of what could have happened. It's not really clear, but if we organize things here a little bit, we can translate it to what could have happened to the point that she must hit him. The she and him are implicit here, okay? Or a better translation, if I was the translator of the book, probably I would translate it as what on earth could have happened that she had no choice but to hit him? 殴らなければならないほどの何が起こったのだろう? And the whole passage that I covered is why would she hit him? What on earth could have happened that she had no choice but to hit him? あの人はなんで殴ったのだろう? 殴らなければならないほどの何が起こったのだろう? This is one of the 1,000 sentences that you find in 夜行観覧車. I would classify it as suitable for people at an intermediate level. I'm not saying that it will be easy for people in an intermediate level to read it, not at all. But if you know how to read the most common kanji, let's say the most 300, 400 common kanji, and you have been learning for a while, I think this book is a great one for you to try to start reading. The language is pretty straightforward. It's from 2010, so it's not like the language used here is not in use anymore. I think it's a great opportunity to learn a lot. There are, of course, some minor expressions that the author Minato Kanai really likes to use. I myself noted more than 40 expressions or words that I didn't know and that I wanted to check. Of course, there were more than that, but these are the ones that for some reason I wanted to check. And yes, if you are interested in some of them, let me know in the comments below. I am thinking if I could make some shorts discussing this vocabulary and expressions that I've read from this book and other books as well, of course. And yeah, what else? Anyway, in the next video I will be introducing you to another mystery novel that is like no other I've ever read, and it has deep connections with Japanese work culture. If you enjoyed this video in particular, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to not miss the other episodes of this book club. Leave me comments with questions regarding the passage that I've introduced, something that I've read that you couldn't understand or that you want more clarification. I will be very happy to answer any question. Well, I think that's it. I hope I can see you in the next video as well. So bye bye, mata ne!